yes, if you want to, be a famous influencer, you're just going to have to deal with literally anything you've ever done in the past coming back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Like, God forbid I ever get, a political job someday. I'm going to have to delete my Twitter.
Same. Literally same.
Probably if we want advertisers for this show, we're both going to have to delete our Twitters.
Welcome to the Audacity.
In this episode, we have some explaining to do. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us for a new episode.
We are so excited to have you. We're so excited to be back.
I know. We record these episodes in advance, so we actually haven't sat down to do this in a long time.
In a really long time. I was afraid we were forgetting how to actually record.
I'm really feeling the growing pains now. Throwback to our last episode.
Good one.
2 episodes ago, actually.
Plug it in.
Yeah, definitely. First, we also have to just start with a big, huge thank you.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Delise. In case you haven't listened to our last episode, go right now and literally pause this and listen to it.
Absolutely.
But we had our very good friend, Delise, in our last episode as our guest.
Yeah.
And what a blast.
Oh, it was fun.
It was a good one, wasn't it?
It was spicy. It was hot. It was sassy, just like us.
That's true.
On a bad day.
We had so much fun.
Yeah.
So thank you so much to Delise.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're excited to feature even more guests in our
totally.
trip.
So yeah, keep an eye out. We're trying to have some more guests on for you. If you have any ideas as well, you know where to let us know on all of our social media at audacity.fm or on Twitter at audacity_FM.
Yes, and in case you don't know, we use Anchor as our hosting platform. And on Anchor, you can share your feedback with us as a voice note, which we will feature on our episodes if you ever want to do so.
Totally.
But also, you can support us on Anchor. So if you ever want to contribute a bit to us so that we can, be a little more snazzy with our work and really help us, honestly.
Totally.
Then you can do that too.
Absolutely. And while you're there, you can check out all of the other podcasting platforms which we're available on, including YouTube. You can also find our link tree, which has all of that info again at audacity.fm.
Yep.
Shall we get started?
We should get started.
You're listening to the Audacity.
So today we have some explaining to do and we have some apologizing to do.
Yes.
This is, this is our first official apology tape because we've realized something in our haste to grow this podcast. We might have strayed a bit from our namesake, the Audacity.
Yes.
When we came up with this name, it was just because this is something that we say on a regular basis.
Followed by the Audacity.
Yeah, the Audacity and the Caucasity. And I think that was originally the point, right?
Yeah.
That each episode was going to address something audacious. And we were going to call something or somebody out each week. I don't think we followed that whatsoever.
We're very PC, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, we are at all not accusatory. Apart from apart from 2 words.
I call a bit of bullshit. Not publicly.
Okay, yes.
We're gonna sit here and accuse the fuck out of you all day long.
No, but even in our podcast, we've accused the country that we're living in a lot, which is valid. You know what?
Yeah. True.
We're not speaking out of our ass.
No, I know.
This comes from experience.
I know. But the painful irony is I think we have the audacity.
We really do.
To think we're doing something bigger here.
We really do. So, guys, as you know, this is a really hard period for us, which is why we're turning all our comments off.
to, so we can have some time to reflect on this. We're going away for 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
To the Maldives.
Yeah.
Please don't contact us.
We're not going to be on social media.
We need to, really do our penance.
And guys, everything is about love. Like no hate, peace. Like Bob Marley once said, one love.
Oh, chef's kiss. Anyways, sorry, not sorry.
Really not. Honestly, I think we should do an apology recording / video just to go viral. Just so we can have more views.
Just a parody of it.
Yeah.
Or
I mean,
I really hope we don't have anything real to apologize for someday.
I know. I mean, even if we do, I think we know how to apologize.
I would hope so. I mean, and also I would hope you at home keep us kind of accountable for it.
Exactly. But also like the apology video, the apology whatever segment is like a huge chunk of influencer marketing, I feel like.
Well, yeah, it's I mean, not only is it like a necessity, right, to protect your image, but it's become such like a cult phenomenon.
Right.
Because of cancel culture.
Yeah.
Like it's really easy these days to I mean, we'll come back to that whole, culture around it later.
Exactly.
Apologies are pretty often these days. People need to think more before they speak.
Yeah, well, it's more so one is cancel culture, which already accelerates this phenomenon of, apologizing. And another is like apologizing for the sake of saving face and not really apologizing per se. So obviously every once in a while you scroll through Instagram, you see the screenshot of the Notes app,
Very Tumblr-esque.
Very Tumblr-esque.
They wrote it, because their manager had a gun to their head.
Probably.
They needed to.
And I'm pretty sure they made an intern write it. Like, I don't even think they wrote it themselves.
It's so that's such a weird, strange cop out. Are they trying? I'm sure they're trying to express how frantically they needed to get this message out. We know they use Canva. We know they know how to brand and present
exactly.
themselves.
It's very last minute damage control.
Yeah.
Just to make it seem more human, as if like, it's from my heart. There's no frill or anything.
Well,
to it.
That's so strange because the other extreme, you took like all day to do your outfit and makeup and set up the studio lights and, edit a whole video.
And then you can't even like, I don't know, fucking put a screenshot of like Word. Like
I'd rather clip art or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think, some of these things that influencers have to apologize for are quite serious.
Yeah.
So we almost need
that's the whole thing. The things that they need to apologize for is usually very serious.
Yeah.
For example, like a lot of racist allegations, their
true.
racist past surfacing, or them saying something very inappropriate, for example. But the thing is, more often than not, we see these apologies being like a facade for something.
Yeah.
For just, it's so flimsy.
Well, it feels flimsy because it's really like new to us. I mean, I hear all the conservatives now, back in my day, you could say racist things and just speak your mind and get away with it.
I'm like, that was the whole problem.
That was the whole, and if you cross the line, which is super hard to do, props to you, and also you're a terrible person if you could manage that feat. But you would have, your agency send a press release or something, or have a press conference, or, you would donate to charity or go work with Habitat for Humanity for a year.
Or like literally quit your entire career.
Ended. Absolutely.
Like, for example, even 20 years ago, all the US presidential scandals.
Yeah.
Clinton.
Impeachment trials. Literally.
Was it Nixon? Who did the war?
Yeah, it was Nixon.
Yeah. Nixon. All of them. Like, they fucking quit, bro. Like,
I know.
And I feel, okay, that's another extreme, obviously. And I mean, maybe they should have quit. I don't know. Like, that's a whole nother debate.
Yeah.
As to what or what not a president should do. But that's one thing that we see missing a lot in these apologies from influencers are actionable things or actionable items.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if we should hold like a YouTuber to the same, role model standard as, president or politician.
Having said that,
then again, a lot more young people listen to them.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, these YouTubers are larger than life personalities because
Yeah.
you see them so often, so you're almost like, okay, I can touch them but not really.
Yeah.
But then like, yeah, sure, like they don't have a position of actual influence. I would say, like, by actual, like actual is in quotes,
Yeah. No, it makes sense.
but I think it should be actionable because otherwise what's the point of your apology?
Yeah.
Like, for example, I'm just gonna something that happened not very recently, but somewhere in 2020. So that's a blur. Gina Rodriguez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Barely. She was singing.
She was singing and she very outright said the N-word
Yeah.
and she posted it on her Instagram story.
Full chested. Yeah.
Full chested, unapologetic. She didn't do shit about it. And then when she apologized, it was just like a 5-second clip of saying like, hey guys, I said something I wasn't supposed to say.
Yeah.
I apologize for whoever I apologize if you feel offended.
Oh yeah, those
Like-
type of apologies. Huh. I want, yeah.
That is so, ugh.
It would be interesting, us who studied communication, we studied crisis management. How do you respond to this?
Exactly.
If you were like a company going through a scandal, like you and I know the steps that should be followed, the different routes you can take, how you want to shift blame or accountability. It's interesting. I would like to see how these, individuals navigate that on their own, or if they have, a whole team telling them what to do.
I mean, as far as we've seen, these individuals don't know how to navigate this.
Yeah, sure. They put up, like you said, tone deaf video or notes, screenshot.
And even if their team is actually helping them, who is on your team? It seems like they're very ineffective at their job.
Yeah. I don't know.
And I think that also comes from having, an all-white team.
True.
Or
Well, and everything's so easy to record and keep a record of these days. So, yes, if you want to, be a famous influencer, you're just going to have to deal with literally anything you've ever done in the past coming back to haunt you.
yeah.
Like, God forbid I ever get, a political job someday. I'm going to have to delete my Twitter.
Same. Literally same.
Probably if we want advertisers for this show, we're both going to have to delete our Twitters. But at least I keep that in the back of my mind.
Yeah. But also,
whatever's on there is embarrassing to me. It's not really offensive to others.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. We say it with our full chest, but it's mostly self-deprecating.
Oh, absolutely.
It's never targeted towards a group of
No.
people, unless those group of people is Caucasians.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're both allowed to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's a weird I don't know, it's a weird minefield, I feel. Like, for example, in the 60s or the 70s, if a celeb fucked up,
Yeah.
either there would be hardcore fans that would be like, we're gonna forgive that person. It's fine, they're human. And then whoever were not hardcore fans would be like, okay, he's trash, whatever.
Yeah.
But then that celebrity would not really do anything. Do you know what I mean?
I do get what you mean. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think of examples from the past, but if you think about, I don't know, like fur companies in the 80s or something.
No.
Like people were, but also like audiences were a lot more active. So you were either with them, ride or die, or you would like, boycott them and protest, stand outside their headquarters.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's just a lot easier to write it off. Like, either they apologized or they didn't, but time to move on.
Yeah. It's because of the whole 15 minutes of fame thing also.
Yeah, basically.
And also I feel like nowadays celebrities are more reactionary than responsive.
Yeah.
They have to like,
which, is maybe just a consequence. Like they have so many people at their fingertips.
Yeah.
And everything is, recorded.
Yeah.
But
So in the same line, in your opinion, what is one thing do you think these influencer celebrities or even a regular civilian should do when they apologize? And this, I think, goes beyond, publicity, beyond saving face,
beyond the styles and the how to.
Yeah.
Well, I think people, even without knowing the full story or the details or the person, I think people are still good at judging sincerity somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's science to back this up. Like, what element of an apology is like a trigger for this. But I think you can just judge when it's being sincere or not.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything worse than apologizing insincerely.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a joke. It's almost more it can be really offensive too.
Yeah.
I think that should be everyone's first step.
Yeah, like the base of the apology.
Yeah, if you're going to do it, you have to actually mean it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very like idealistic
Yeah.
perspective to have. But
Yeah.
yeah.
That would
be
be the
sincere.
base of
That's
it.
that's my tip. What about you?
I think I am on the same page as you. Number one, be sincere. I think I'm gonna say a don't rather than a do.
Yeah.
Is don't apologize for how the other person feels.
Yeah.
Don't say like, I'm sorry this made you feel like this.
That's just a deflection mechanism.
Like, don't say I'm sorry you're offended. Just say I'm sorry I offended you.
Yeah.
Like that's take accountability.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that person or acknowledge whatever that group or the other party and validate what they're saying.
I like this. Yeah, I mean, look, we've thrown a lot of words around like accountability, acknowledgement, validation, guilt.
Yes.
You have
Acceptance.
to understand these stages.
Indeed.
Also, it can be, sincere or not.
Yeah.
And I think also, you have to weigh the magnitude of the situation versus your role in it. Are you responsible? Are there other parties responsible? Was it a different time?
Exactly.
That's a lot.
And if you're being sincere, then the point of every apology is to then move on from it and become a better person. So you have to kind of show tangible things that you're doing.
Some follow-up.
Yeah, some follow-up.
Especially if you've done a lot of harm.
Exactly.
Like you need some sort of penance.
Exactly. A very good example that just recently showed up on my feed was Camila Cabello. Her racist tweets or Tumblr posts or something like that surfaced. And she was basically canceled for a little bit. And we're going to come to that. Because,
true.
Yeah, we need to talk about cancel culture. But then after that, after all the backlash that she got, she went to racial healing classes. And she actually went and had months of session.
Wow.
And I was thoroughly impressed with it.
Yeah.
Because she really worked on it. And these tweets or posts or whatever were from 2013, which is...
Yeah, a while.
Jesus,
a while ago.
Yeah.
No, I think that's important. Whether she did that because she really wanted to or because she was forced to by an agent, whatever, at least she's putting in the penance.
Exactly.
And the work.
And I think that was impressive.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't like her as an individual, but I mean, the fact that she actually did it is much better than
true.
anything these celebrities are doing these days,
Yeah, I can't think of any other like constructive examples like that.
Yeah.
Or even, there was a lot of people called out for like their performative activism.
Yes.
During the Black Lives Matter,
Yes.
The peak that it hit last June.
Yes.
And some people followed up by, trying to clean up their performativity and actually take steps to learn or donate or, do some sort of service. And I think there were just a lot of people that missed that, point.
Yeah.
That's a bit different than I think like an influencer needing to apologize for a scandal. But, it's all the same lines there.
Exactly.
And now I'm actually curious. I want to ask you, though. I think a lot of this comes from how we were raised.
Yes.
And when we were children.
Yes.
Did you grow up in a pro or anti-apology household?
I think a moderate apology household, I would say. It's because I think we're very stubborn people.
Yeah.
The people in my family are not easily swayable, number one. And number two, very, I think, prideful.
Yeah.
So apology doesn't come easily,
Okay.
I would say. But we know, like, if we've wronged someone or something, we have to apologize. And it may not be the words, I'm sorry. It may be like actual actions to show that they're sorry. But definitely it was encouraged that you apologize and you
I think
right the wrong.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
I think a lot of families take the opposite stance,
Yes.
which is very much like, don't apologize unless you mean it.
Yeah.
That's a harsh term to use. Save it for when it's really important. And I'm just like, this is not a finite resource.
No.
You don't have a word limit.
Exactly.
I mean, yes, you don't want to be the one extreme where you over apologize.
Yeah, you don't want to be a pushover.
Yeah, and I know a lot of Americans are kind of like guilty of that, and I used to be a lot too.
Yeah.
If I bumped into someone, oh, I'm so sorry, I was in your way. Wow, I can't believe I've just done this to you. That's far extreme.
Sorry for existing.
But then there are, you just meet these people who have probably never had to apologize for anything.
Ever.
And if they have, it's been very much the I'm sorry you felt that way
style. And I'm assuming you grew up in a pro
I grew up in a very pro apology.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it really shows and reflects on who we are as people.
Yeah.
And also another thing is that I'm very non-confrontational in the sense that I don't want any conflict.
No.
So first of all, I perfect everything that I do.
So that's like our first step in the first place is to avoid needing to apologize.
Exactly.
But when we do
it profusely and very, I think, more than needed sometimes, but
well, I think we also both don't like being misunderstood.
Exactly.
And not only that, I really don't like when people, if it's someone I need to apologize to, and if I'm not aware that I need to yet, and they sit there and fester in that.
I hate it.
Like, I would do laps to apologize for you if you asked me to, if I'm not aware of it.
Not even ask me, just tell me.
Or just bring up the fact.
You.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like literally.
I mean, most of the time, that's all they actually, need to heal. But,
exactly.
yeah.
It's like, trickles down to bad communication.
Basically.
That's what it is.
But yeah, these two types of people, I'm calling them out today. They really bother me. They're like people who refuse to apologize and the people who refuse to ask for.
Oh, I know. And both.
And I've dated both of them, and it's really uncomfortable.
The Venn diagram for non-apologists and non-communicators is a circle, and straight white men, nucleus of it.
The overlap.
It looks like a boob.
Oh no.
And the straight white men are the nipple.
That is where they like to be. But
I know, breastfed always.
No, I think we can do a better job teaching our kids to apologize sincerely.
Yeah.
To recognize, even if you don't personally feel that guilty, which is fine, but you should still recognize that you've done something to hurt someone.
Exactly. And
that should be enough to apologize, not for their feelings, but just for whatever role you've played.
Exactly.
Even if you don't feel bad.
Now that you bring up like an interesting topic of apologizing when you don't feel bad, because I can only speak as a woman when I say this. Like, we have to apologize for everything. We've been taught to apologize for everything, even things that doesn't need apology. We apologize for existing, pretty much, and that's such a weird thing, because I grew up like, with my parents telling me, you're the best. Like, that's it, period. You're the best. And whatever you do, and if you really want to, do it with conviction and you want to do it with hard work, you can do it. And no one should tell you otherwise. So that is kind of contradictory to, okay, you also make mistakes and you should own up. I get what you mean. So I think it's also finding a healthy balance on knowing when to apologize and when not to apologize.
Yeah.
Don't apologize for,
well, don't apologize for existing.
And don't apologize for opinions as long as your opinions don't literally threaten someone's existence.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Those aren't opinions anymore. That's violence.
Yeah. That's true.
Huh.
So yeah,
But I think it's like a personal balance you find, a journey you go on.
true.
I think hopefully if you were raised in one of those non-apology families, hopefully you get the growth and development to realize, oh, this is an important part of
Yeah.
being around people, and
Yeah.
being accountable. Or, maybe in our case, if you were in an over-apologetic family, you kind of realize, I should use this a bit more sincerely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it loses its weight.
Yeah. It's how entitled folks,
Yeah.
they don't have they don't really notice or acknowledge anything around them. They're like, this is mine because it's meant to be mine.
Yeah.
This is mine because like it's not given to me. I take it because it's mine. Period. It's mine. That's it. From how, where, when it comes from, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But for unentitled people, like we're even afraid to take up space.
Yeah, very
You
true.
know?
Ooh.
So I think that's also something we have to look at in terms of apologies. Like, don't apologize for
No, definitely.
being in the room and, asking for a seat at the table.
Yeah.
But also don't hog the table.
I get what you mean. Yeah, that's the balance we kind of
Yeah.
were talking about.
So
I think there's also just way too many different situations.
Yeah.
Different relationships. It depends if this is a public apology because you have
Yeah.
following, or if this is a
yeah.
personal apology to a loved one,
Yeah.
or if it's because you cut in front of someone in line. Like, there's just way too many,
so many.
variants to like include in a 40-minute
Yeah.
episode.
But also, I believe if you are coming from privilege,
Yeah.
and this is me also coming from privilege, I think we should always and constantly apologize for microaggressions.
Yeah.
Like that.
Well, and hopefully do the extra work to find out how to avoid them.
yeah.
But some of it's just not avoidable.
No. Yeah, like you said, it's so contextual. It's so like
Very much.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a whole other flip side I want to talk about now, like the recipient of an apology.
Yeah.
People have their own apology styles.
Yes.
Just like they have their own love languages. I think we
Yes.
briefly mentioned this a long time ago, but the
Yes.
same author who did the love languages research followed that up with apology
Yeah.
languages. Some people prefer really emphatic, emotional, I'm so sorry, I can't stand that I've done this, I hate myself, I'm gonna,
Yeah.
please give me your utmost forgiveness, I'm,
Give me
begging
another chance. Yeah.
Some people, that's like a very emotional apology. Some
Yeah.
people want really formal,
Yes.
cold and concise, precise apologies.
Comprehensive.
Some people want, less words and more action.
That's what I was
You
gonna
know,
say.
they don't want an apology. They want you to, give them a gift and give them space and wait until they're ready to talk
Acts
to you.
of service. Yeah.
So I think it's, at least in a personal,
Yeah.
or professional romantic relationship, it's nice to know each other's styles that way.
Exactly. And again, this is all rooted in the apology being sincere.
Yeah.
It won't work if you don't mean it.
Exactly.
No matter what your apology style is. Mean it, work on it, and just wait. And also know that no one owes you forgiveness.
Yeah.
And no one owes you, owes for your apology to be accepted. There's no obligation.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, some of these things which you might want to apologize for, the recipient's
Yeah.
not obligated to accept it.
And also, some apologies are not for you to accept.
Yeah.
Know that too.
Huh.
Those apologies aren't even directed at you. So
Yeah.
don't take up that baggage
Huh.
or don't accept it on someone else's behalf. So that's a
good point there.
an
Huh.
insightful one.
This all gets a lot more complicated. Yeah. When you think about the other person in the situation, because like the, reciprocation for that would be forgiveness.
Yeah.
And that's such a tricky, as humans, that's a really hard task for us to do.
It's a task, and it's an emotion that is so, I feel like, layered,
Yeah.
and it's different for everybody.
Yep.
Sometimes forgiveness is closure, but sometimes forgiveness is just a blip
Yeah.
in the process.
True. It depends on the magnitude and the
Yeah.
timing and
Yeah.
all those other factors we've been talking about.
Yeah.
But I think at least for like a one-on-one relationship, like forgiveness is really important to whomever needs it.
Exactly.
Like one of the best, lessons I learned when I was young, like sometimes you have to create that for yourself if you're not gonna get it from someone else.
That's true.
And everyone's probably been in this situation.
Yeah.
You need an apology, you'd prefer one, and you're not gonna get one.
Yeah.
So you have to then navigate your own forgiveness
Yeah.
on your own. Is this something I can let
Live-
go
yeah.
and live with?
Yeah.
Is it a deal breaker?
Yeah.
Do I just need to write them off, or do I actually have to go through some steps?
Yeah. It's very much tied to closure.
Yeah.
I would say it's what do you need to do to move on, basically.
No, and it just depends. I can think of friends that I'm no longer friends with, or exes that I'm no longer dating, and sometimes you both have a chance to talk it out, build that apology and build that forgiveness together. Sometimes they're not coming to the table.
No.
You have to go through that on your own,
and that's the thing. That's fine because they don't owe you that.
True, but it's
So-
it sucks. Unfortunately for you, you have to go through that process.
I know.
Because
Yeah.
I think we don't like to admit it, but we all know it's much worse to just have that,
Yeah.
anger
Linger.
and resentment
Yeah.
linger. Like it can be great for a while.
For growth.
Whatever days, years, it depends.
Yeah.
However long you need to hold on to that
Yeah.
grudge.
But that is again based on the fact that you are holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
And you are, accepting the fact that you've done something wrong. Which brings us to the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Cancel culture.
So we got to scale this up now.
Yeah.
No, not longer just one-on-one, but when you've got, an audience,
Yeah.
a very well-informed and quick to move audience.
Very flighty.
Yeah.
I would say audience.
Fickle would be the
Fickle is a good
science
one.
term we use.
That is-
fickle public opinion.
Yes. Talking of which, I want to start off by asking you, what do you think of cancel culture? And does it even really work, exist?
Huh. Well, this is a new phenomenon.
Yes.
There's not a lot of research on it yet.
Yes.
I remember when I first heard the term, didn't really make sense to me.
No.
I think I was on board with it at first though.
Yeah.
There are so many voices to listen to.
yeah, yeah.
So if a few of them are misspeaking,
Yeah.
I don't think we
It's
have much to
needed.
lose.
Yeah.
Sure, I understand the nuance of it a bit more now that it might not be fair for the
Yeah.
creators.
Yeah.
Also, if they get canceled quickly enough, they might not have the chance to,
Yeah.
make things right. But I'm always on, I think, the public side or the victim's
Yeah.
side.
I am definitely always on the victim side.
Yeah.
But having said that, cancel culture does not work.
Oh, true. Yeah.
It literally, any celebrity you have canceled in 2020, in the past few years, their careers are thriving.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. Bad any publicity is good publicity.
Exactly. And they're not apologetic for it. Like we said, their apologies are farce.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's the thing. As fickle as public opinion may be, attention spans are so fucking short.
yes. And they will go back to them. They will have supporters.
Yeah.
So I feel like cancel culture is so, I don't know, in a way so toxic.
Yeah.
I can imagine how much that affects the celebrities, but that's very secondary. Primary is how are you reacting to the victim?
Well, and that's the other criticism too.
Yeah.
It is putting all the publicity on the influencer or the celebrity.
Yeah.
And not on the actual situation, not on the actual problem.
No, not on the actual problem, not even on the victim.
Yeah.
The victims don't hear the apology or don't get a chance to hear the apology, and they never get compensated for it.
Makes sense.
Also.
Yeah.
So what's the point,
The point is it's just another chance for us to be polarized.
Yes.
And choose a side,
That is a very post, 21st century world, I would say.
Yeah.
Nothing is gray. especially after the internet boom,
Yeah.
everything is black and white.
Ironically, when the world today is much more gray than it's ever been.
Exactly.
We can't, as caveman brain, people, we can't handle that reality.
It's very, like you said, it's very primitive to think that we're unidimensional.
Huh. I don't know. It's an interesting phenomenon.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I think I'm pro cancel culture at the end.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't work, if you've done something bad enough to build up so much momentum that people are, canceling you, you've obviously done something wrong. Unequivocally. Even if you've been misunderstood, taken out of context, it was a decade ago.
Yeah. I am more on we should have accountability culture than cancel culture.
Yeah, makes sense. Because there are plenty of people who will just pick a side without knowing a detail just to go along with the mob.
And then they will cancel. I mean, I sound like a conservative saying this, but they will cancel anything. And as it should be, anything should be canceled. Like
no. Yeah, you're right.
Should be in a position to be canceled. Nothing should be, so permanent and so high and mighty. That's the whole point of, democracy and
well, anything will be canceled, and anything could be canceled when you're doing it digitally.
Exactly.
Like, it is so easy to participate in cancel culture because you just get informed super briefly and you pick your side right away.
Yeah.
Like my old example, if you wanted to cancel a brand, a chain in like the 80s or something, you'd have to go picket or protest or boycott, stand outside the supermarket. Like,
now you can just do some internet slander and the brand's gone.
Well, now you can just unfollow James Charles and you've participated in the cancel.
Again, another celebrity who's been canceled about 7 times as of now.
And keeps coming back from it. Yeah,
exactly. So I feel like, again, I am pro cancel culture if cancel culture is effective and if it ropes in some accountability.
Yeah, there was actually there was one example from TikTok. This creator who I really liked, he kind of became like an overnight micro influencer, educator for the LGBTQ community, with just little informative videos, blah, blah, blah. He was very aware of his own privilege and always kind of acknowledged that. At the end of the day, he was still like a young, attractive, cis white gay man. And I knew something was always a tiny bit fishy. And then a scandal broke. But he was so quick to deplatform himself.
Oh. Because
this is what the victim asked of him.
Oh, wow.
And it's what all the followers were starting to ask, basically canceling him. But this is the only time I've seen it really work. He deactivated his account. Oh. He deactivated all of his social media accounts.
Oh, wow.
And I was really confused at the time how I felt about this.
Yeah.
One, what a strong move, because, this is, your income stream basically as an influencer.
And social clout.
But 2, are you not getting off a bit too easy? I know the victim has said, not another word from you, leave this place immediately.
But
do your penance. And maybe your penance is losing your platform.
That is such a good point.
I kind of feel, just like we joked in the beginning, that he just went off to the Maldives for 3 weeks and thought about his actions over a Mai Tai, and then the kicker is...
Oh, there's more.
I think in this downtime, he reflected on that.
Yeah.
And realized, I don't actually mean this. I'm not so sincere about this. I think I'm actually in the right.
Wow.
And he reactivated.
Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Huge long step. He uncanceled himself?
Self-uncanceled.
It was brilliant. Like, I would study this, such a weird phenomenon, because in his absence, the people who wanted him canceled so badly calmed down enough.
Yeah.
The people who never wanted him canceled in the first place missed him enough.
Yeah.
So he came back nearly unscathed and just picked right back up.
I want to meet his PR team.
Really? I mean, I don't like this approach, but it worked.
It's the human psyche.
Yeah.
is so malleable.
Yeah.
And especially this generation is so impressionable.
True.
So impressionable that we can actually manipulate this.
Yeah.
And he did exactly that.
Yeah. And I don't think, we can make assumptions. We'll never know the sincerity level or exactly what he was thinking. No. I mean, there's points on either side of this issue.
Yeah. It's almost like a pandemic wedding. You know what I mean? For the first 3 months, you were shit scared. You were sanitizing your toilet paper and your ass at the same time. And then by August, you were like, people miss social gatherings.
Totally.
Let's have a wedding. And then people who want to attend the wedding attend it. People who don't want to attend the wedding are like, oh, well, there he did another thing, but I can't cancel that. Can I?
Yeah.
Because everyone's doing weddings now.
Huh.
So, wow.
I don't know. It'll be fun to see when more research starts coming out about how it works.
Then
on all of the ends, there's like there's a strategic management lens to it. There's like an audience lens to it, the victim lens.
Is that what we're gonna do if we ever get canceled?
If we ever get canceled,
how are we gonna strategically place ourselves?
Play back this episode. Well, that's I think you can have training, on how would you respond right away in a crisis.
Yeah, conflict management.
Everyone knows the conflict management steps.
Yeah.
But too much of it depends on the situation.
Yeah.
Too much of it can move so quickly.
And it depends on the audience, honestly. If your audience is young and impressionable and not, radical.
Well, and if they are able to collectivize strongly enough, we don't have to worry about our, 10 loyal listeners.
It's the off 12.
Banding against us. It'd be like a little passive win, but if you have obviously a much bigger platform or like a important job or role, you've got the numbers to defeat you.
Yeah. Then you'd have to be very calculative.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to really prioritize.
Or if you want to avoid all of this discussion, just avoid doing bad shit to begin with.
Exactly. Be a decent fucking human.
Be a good fucking person. Yeah. Maybe that's our takeaway.
Truly. So from this podcast, we have learned.
Yeah.
Straight men are a boob.
Straight men are a boob. Forgiveness is sometimes something you have to give yourself.
Yes.
There are different apology languages, which you should work out with your, relationships, partners, coworkers, whatever.
Stop taking screenshots of your note apps, please.
And have a standby flight to the Maldives ready on a moment's notice.
Most importantly, just be fucking good.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not hard.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe, don't start a podcast about calling people out and then not do that for your entire brand.
We had the audacity to do it.
Oh, that's true.
We had the audacity to not have the audacity.
Okay, you know what? That's the new brand in an ironic way.
Very convenient for us. Anyway, this has been fun.
It has been fun. Another good episode.
We'll
see you again next week for an even better episode.
In the meantime, check us out on all social media platforms at audacity.fm, except on Twitter, which is audacity_FM. We have a Linktree link in our bio that connects you to all our podcasting platforms.
Absolutely.
Including Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, Google Podcasts, etc., etc.
Probably like a dozen more.
Yes.
One of those is Anchor, where we host our podcast, and on there you can find an option to leave us some feedback using a voice message. We'd love to hear your lovely words and include them in a future episode. You can also find the option there to support us with a monthly contribution, which just helps us make the show better, bring better guests in. I think we just generally be in a better mood too for most of the time.
It'll be sustainable.
All of the above.
Yes. And don't forget to share this with your friends.
And share this with your enemies as well.
And until next time,
we'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that's our first
Yeah.
step is avoid needing to in the first
Apologize.
place.
But
As best. Are you okay?
yes, I just choked up on my saliva.